Okay. Okay. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera to all.
Waalaikumsalam.
Since I think everyone is here, we may start our meeting with Umul Kitab. Suratul Al-Fatihah. Al-Fatihah. Amin, 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 ya Rabbil Alamin. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Morning. Good morning, and everyone. Welcome to third meeting of English Fiesta. Alhamdulillah, thank you everyone for attending this online meeting, and I hope this meeting will be going smoothly, inshallah. I see Mr. KHAIRUL IZZAT. Thanks for your participation.
Yeah, welcome, Mr. Wan. I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Alright, before we start our meeting, Mr. Secretary, can you please be our timekeeper and our minutes?
Duly noted, Mr. Wan.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Mr. Secretary, is there any apologies of absent for today meeting?
Alhamdulillah, all of our ESCO is attending our meeting today.
Okay, that's good. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for your update. Now I will read through the agenda of our meeting. As we all know, on 11 November 2020, we will be conducting an English fiesta. So on today's meeting, I would like to know the update of each ESCO regarding the festival. Okay, to recap, Mrs. Secretary, can you please briefly tell us regarding the minutes of previous meeting? Please, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wan. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
In our previous meeting on 12 October 2020, we have already chosen a committee member for this event. As we all know, Mr. Wan as the program director, Mr. KHAIRUL IZZAT as the program coordinator, me, Mr. SITI as the secretary, Mrs. ROSHAIYU as the treasurer and EXCO protocol, Mr. ZULYANA as the EXCO of multimedia and promotion, and last one is Mr. SHAFIQ BARIZ as the EXCO of food and prizes. We also decided to use the seminar room at level 3 as our main venue. Our request has been approved by Unikl, make the seminar room as our main venue, use PS system of Unikl, budget for this event, and others. Thank you.
That's great.
Thanks a lot, Mr. Secretary. So any other business or I will look on the previous meeting, Mr. Secretary?
No, Mr. Wan.
Okay, that's good. If there is nothing else we need to discuss, let's move on to the agenda. Maybe I suggest we go around the table first. Okay, I think shall we start with Mr. KHAIRUL? Can you please tell us on the update, Mr. KHAIRUL?
Sure, Mr. Wan. Hi all. The final draft for our 1030 has been uploaded in our team software and available to view now. The final draft has been discussed on our last meeting and few adjustment has been made due to our pack of activity and none of our committee willing to drop this activity, and another main factor which is time. Some of our activity will be squeezed on during our leisure time, such as alumni sharing will be conducted during lunch hour and spelling bee will be during our high tea. Another important thing to point out is about our wow factor, Miss Najwa Latif, our guest. I heard some good news about our budget and I let our treasurer, Madam ROSHAIYU, to talk about it before any further discussion to be made.
Okay, wow, that's great, Najwa Latif, okay. Extra special work, Mr. KHAIRUL. Thanks for sharing with us.
Sure. You are welcome.
Okay, let's move to Mr. Shayu. Kindly please, Mr. Shayu.
Alhamdulillah, I find that our budget for this event has been sufficient and approved by Unikl Fund. Plus, we have received confirmation from the Star newspaper and Reader's Digest company that they will contribute enough budget upon the sponsorship requested. All of our budget requested has been approved with an additional fund. After then, I have spoken to Mr. Akmal, Unikl Chief Clerk, who's in charge of Unikl fund to transfer to our committee account by tomorrow. So all I want to say, if there's any more requests for extra budget to spend on the gift, maybe Mr. Shafiq can comment regarding the matter.
Okay, for the competition prizes, Reader's Digest magazine agreed to sponsor a one-year magazine subscription worth 200 ringgit along with a shopping voucher worth 500 ringgit for the main prize. The Star newspaper agreed to give goodies bag for consolation prizes. But I would like to request extra budget for appreciation gift to give the Star newspaper team, Reader's Digest and Najwa Latif to thank them for participating and sponsoring our program. And I think that to encourage students to participate, I managed to get Unikl's departments to prepare some goodies bag for early birds. So I think that's all.
Okay then. Uh, Okay then, I will transfer the expenses to you once I receive the sponsorship. And we get the good news that Najwa Latif will be with us all day because we can afford to pay her to spend time during the ceremony.
That's the good news.
Oh, that's good.
Good job, Shayu.
You have my respect, Mr. Shayu. That is huge additional fund from our main budget actually.
Thank you, Mr. Wan. Credit to our teams too. We carried out this program successfully. Yay!
Yeah, that's great. Okay, that's great. What about multimedia and promotion? Buzesco, maybe Mrs. Zulana. Can you please explain to us, Mrs. Zulana?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wan. Actually, for the multimedia and promotion, everything went smoothly according to our plan. I have publicized the event Unikl students by using circular and pamphlets. In addition, I have also publicized this English message in the Unikl portal. Good news, where the stars and leaders have also agreed to promote and publish our activities by giving a space in the published media. Thus, we can invite more people to participate in this activity.
Oh, okay.
Good. So many good news.
This is great. Good job for us, Mrs. Juliana.
Yeah, yes. It is everything I hope for Mrs. Zulana. That's really great. That's right. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Zulana. Okay, I think next, please, Mr. Maybe Esco of from food Esco for the Mr. Shafiq. Can you please tell us?
Okay, for the food, I've already dealt with the caterers and they agree with our budget and food choices. The good news
Great.
is that they will provide extra food and drinks in case we underestimate targeted participants. But I have a question. Do we have an allocated budget for the sponsored teams too? I think about Miss Shayu.
Oh, Mr. Shayu. Okay.
Yes,
Mr.
Mr.
Shayu, please.
Shafi. We have that budget for the sponsored teams too.
Okay, okay. I think Mr. Shayu has answered your question, Mr. Shafiq. That's
Thank
right.
you. Yeah.
Exceptional, Mr. Shafiq. Exceptional. That's exceptional. Thank you, Mr. Shafiq. From food, I think we have covered. Looks like we have covered all parts of the events. So, is there any question to me or any ESCO?
Yes, me, Mr. Wan.
Okay, Mr. Ijat. Mr. Carol, okay? You may proceed with the question, Mr. Carol.
First of all, thanks a lot to Madam Shayu for the good news of expansion of budget that will make our event merrier.
Yes.
As we know that the price fee for our guest Najwa Latif in the morning and night is different. But then Madam Roshayu was managed to increase the budget allocation for Najwa Latif. So I was planning to switch the in-house treasure hunt activity with guest lyric with Najwa Latif, which is morning to night event for Najwa Latif, like a concert, real concert perhaps. I hope this will get approval by all the committee. What do you say?
I think that's great.
Good idea, Mr.
Okay, good
Izzat.
idea.
Good idea.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah, from Mrs. Shafi, Mrs.
I
Shayu.
think we all agree with that. It
Yeah.
will be excellent.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay then. If that's so, I'll rearrange the tentative and we'll upload the letters in the team software. I will
All right.
get.
Okay.
Okay, another one question, please. I would like to ask Mr. Shafi about the issue of food preparation for the vegetarian participant. Is there any allocation for them?
I've been expecting this question. Thank you for asking, Mr. KHAIRUL. I've already asked about this when dealing with the caterers. They try to prepare vegetarian-friendly foods and might consider setting up a special table to put vegetarian foods only. But however, they need estimation of vegetarian participants to avoid wastage and over budget, since these vegetarian foods can be very costly. But I will look into this. Anything I will inform you.
Yeah, thank you, Mrs. SHAFIQ, for responding my
You're
question.
welcome.
Okay, that's great. Any other question? Maybe from Mrs. Zulyana?
No, no, Mr. Wan. So far, no question.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. Zulyana. Okay, so let me quickly go over to the main point. As we start with
Okay.
Mr. KHAIRUL, he has completed the event tentative precisely. That's great works. And
Thank you.
Mr. SHAFIQ has achieved an approval plus additional budget for the KL sponsorship from the staff managers. That's in our class. Very great. That's great. That's great, Mr. SHAFIQ. I think we have should have some claps for Mr. SHAFIQ. Next, Mrs. Zana successfully got the promotion from Unikl portal and media coverage from our sponsor. And lastly, Mr. Shafiq has appointed our caterer for the event and managing the prizes in Great Bundle. So I think I would like to talk. I would like to thank to all of you of your great effort and a very outstanding job. That's great. I think
Thank you to all.
that's great job. Okay. As update from the ESCO private today, all I can say that all the tasks has completed perfectly. So today will be our last meeting. So I hope all our plan in this meeting will be applied to the event and run smoothly. And I wish everybody good luck.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Okay, so thank you for attending this meeting. I declare the meeting closed. Assalamualaikum.
Welcome. Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank
thank
you,
you, guys.
everyone.
Bye.
Mm.